Two balls and a strike to count on Taylor. Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. This is one back. Welcome up, Reyes Taylor.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by Daniel Starkand. And end of September, Dodgers have the division wrapped up. They're headed to the playoffs. You're not expecting a ton of juicy information to come out. But today, Daniel, the LA Times hands us a gift. Dylan Hernandez interviewing Clayton Kershaw, asking him directly his plans for 2023 and beyond. And here's what Kershaw had to say, quote, "I haven't really thought a whole lot about next year, but I do think I'm leaning towards playing over not for sure. As of today, I think I've got at least one more run." Of course, Kershaw, a free agent at the end of the year. But Daniel, when you read this article, when you read this quote, what was your immediate thought and reaction?
Well, let me just start off by saying that if you're a Dodger fan that is a Clayton Kershaw hater, I know there's a small group of them. This is probably not the video for you. I'm not going to speak for Jeff, but I know we're both big Kershaw guys.
Hopefully those people have unsubscribed long ago and they found the other Dodgers site and the other Dodger video show that they could watch.
Yeah, but when I first saw this quote, I thought of it as good news. I mean, it makes sense. First of all, like if you look at the numbers this season, Clayton Kershaw is still really, really good, like nowhere near the point where it's like, yeah, it's probably time to hang him up. I know he's had his injury, past, and he's dealt with a couple injuries this year, but I still think he's a guy who could give, the Dodgers or whatever other team he signs with, like 120, 130 really good innings. And as I just kind of alluded to, I know he didn't say he's returning to the Dodgers, but I would assume that the Dodgers are the leader in the clubhouse to land him in free agency. Especially if this season ends well or if they come really close. Like I can't imagine. I know the Rangers have been mentioned a lot, but I can't imagine him wanting to go to a non-contender at this stage in his career. So I took this as good news. Hopefully this season ends well and they could get a deal done and he's, still around next year and who knows, maybe even beyond that.
Yeah, it's interesting timing for me because obviously last night the Dodgers go up against a guy in Madison Bumgarner who looked like the freaking Hall of Famer last night against the Dodgers for some reason. But you look at his numbers, and that is a guy who is just hanging on for dear life. He's collecting paychecks. He's got 2 more years at $17 million a year that the Diamondbacks owe him after this one. But you look and it's like an ERA of almost 5, an ERA of over 6, and then an ERA of 5 again this year. He's one of the worst pitchers in baseball. And it makes me wonder, like at the end of Bumgarner's career, you're going to look at his ERA and it's not going to be that great. It's going to be like 3.5. And you're going to say, is this guy a Hall of Fame contender, blah, blah, blah. And so for Kershaw, there's nobody that wants that. Like you don't want to see a guy like Kershaw hang on too long. But you don't have to worry about that with Clayton Kershaw because you look at his numbers right now. He's only thrown just under 110 innings pitched at this point. If you look at guys over 100 innings pitched, he's 8th in ERA in Major League Baseball, 5th in the National League. He's 2nd in expected ERA in all of baseball. You look at the StatCast stuff, it's all red. Red is good, blue is bad. The only blue on his entire chart is fastball velocity, which is the 15th percentile. But the walk rate is 94th, the barrel rate is 91st, the spin is even good, the hard hit is good, the exit velocity is good. And so he's clearly good still when he's healthy. But that's the final caveat to me. He's dealing with the back injury. He's back now. He seems to be healthy. But the back injury, the age, it's something he's dealt with before. I wonder if that's the sort of the thing that, when he says, I haven't thought a whole lot about it, I'm leaning towards playing, it's got to be health, right? Like health is the only possible explanation for why this isn't a slam dunk, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there was another quote in that same article where he basically said, like, I know I've dealt with stuff in the past, but I feel like there's another 8-month run in there where I could stay healthy. And even if he does miss some time, I still think he's a really productive pitcher. Yeah. But yeah, I would guess that's that. And, wanting to spend more time with his family would be the two reasons to go the other way into retirement. But I mean, if you're looking at it from the Dodgers perspective, like you're going to need starting pitching this winter. Like Walker Buehler is going to be out for pretty much all of next year. Like maybe he comes back at the very end, but you can't count on that. Dustin May in his first full season is probably going to be on some sort of innings limit.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Tyler Anderson and Andrew Heaney are both going to be free agents. Both have been great, obviously, which means they're probably going to be making a lot more money this winter than they did last winter. So when you look at that, the Dodgers definitely have a need for Kershaw. So I think the interest will be mutual there, and who knows if he's leaning a little more towards retirement, if he gets that push from Andrew Friedman and the Dodgers, maybe that could help him, but it seems like he wants to play. And I think when talking about like contracts, I think the fact that he's dealt with so many injuries kind of gets reflected in the contract. Like if you look at what he's playing on right now, like a 1-year deal, 18 to 20 million range. I think if he was putting up the numbers he is now while playing a full season, he'd be making a lot more than that. So I think because of the injury history, you're getting him at a little bit of a discount, and you're still getting really productive innings whenever he's on the mound.
Yeah, and I think, look, the good news for Dodger fans is that if Clayton Kershaw wants to play and wants to be a Dodger, it's going to happen. The Dodgers have done right by him every step of the way. They've not extended him qualifying offers when it would have hurt his chances of signing elsewhere if he wanted to. They've signed him to 1-year deals, not trying to lock up future years because they want to do right by him. And so if Clayton Kershaw wants to play for the Dodgers, he will play for the Dodgers. By all accounts, he says he's having fun, but the caveat is in there that while he said, hey, I'm leaning towards coming back, there was nothing in there that says it's definitely going to the Dodgers. He said, look, I'm having fun this year. He obviously likes the clubhouse. He likes the guys he's playing with. But, I mean, do you think there's a real chance? You hinted at it. The Rangers are the other team, the only other team I would imagine he would play for. We know the story. He's from Texas, from Dallas, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That team is bad, Daniel. Like, is there a real, like, would you put it at above 10% chance that he plays for the Rangers?
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, I think if the Rangers would have made like strides this year, like obviously they made some big moves last offseason, bringing in Corey Seager, Marcus Semien. I think if they would have made strides and like, let's say they were in the mix for a postseason spot right now, maybe not even making it, but just in the mix, I think then maybe it would be kind of appealing. Like you said, going home, playing with Corey Seager, who knows. Chris Woodward is no longer there. So I guess that's a drawback as well. But I'm with you. I just think they're way too far away from competing for him to even consider it. Like I think if you're Clayton Kershaw at this stage of your career, I would imagine that winning is the most important thing. Like we know he's as competitive as it gets. So I don't see him. I know Dallas is his hometown. His family lives there. I just don't see him going to the Rangers for a paycheck to go be on a 500 team or below 500 team. Just so he could be closer to home.
Yeah, I'm with you completely. Now, like, obviously, if the Dodgers go win a World Series, that could change the equation. But even then, I don't see him going to the Rangers. Like, I think it's either the Dodgers or retirement. The same things we were saying last offseason. And so I'm with you. That the headline for me is, this is great news. He's leaning towards coming back. As you said, the Dodgers need pitching. He's been unbelievable when healthy. And it's kind of like the Rich Hill thing from back in the day. The Dodgers need quality. They don't need quantity. They don't need guys to give them 250 innings necessarily. They've got Pepio. They've got Grove. They've got guys that can plug holes. They're plenty good everywhere else to make sure they're going to get into the playoffs. They're going to get a bye. What you need is a healthy Clayton Kershaw when the postseason starts. It appears, as of now, crossed fingers, crossed toes, whatever you need to do, it appears they're headed in that direction. And as long as you get that, then it's worth every single penny to have Clayton Kershaw involved. So again, check out the article from the LA Times. Dylan Hernandez was the one who wrote it, who interviewed Clayton Kershaw and just asked him point blank, are you coming back? And as he said, some positive leanings from Clayton Kershaw. Hey, before we go, let's make one quick announcement to you. Daniel and I will be doing a live watch along for tonight's game, Urias versus Zach Gallen, a couple Cy Young contenders. So be sure to follow Daniel, follow myself on social media, Dodger Blue 1958 as well. We're going to tweet out the playback link. We'll be in there for the first 5 innings for sure and kind of go from there, see how the game is going. But should be an unbelievable pitcher's duel. The total on that game is under 7 runs. So expecting a pitcher's duel, probably a quick moving one as well. So make sure you join Daniel and I for that as well. As always, make sure you subscribe, ring the notification bell here on YouTube. Please subscribe to our podcast at part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. You can find that on Spotify or Apple. Just search for Dodger Heads as well. That's Daniel. My name is Jeff. Thanks again for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you tonight on the watch along. If not, we'll see you soon.